I'm running out of liquid rust, and that's because I am building something right now and it required a lot of it. And so, as you can see, I'm running out of it. Now, some of you might not know what it is I'm talking about and click this video because you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Let me explain. Sometimes you're building something, maybe a Relic guitar, for example, it's usually used there. I'm using it for something different this time, but we'll not go into that in this video. You'll see that video later. And for example, you'll use it on the back of a neck to make the wood grey. A lot of people show you how to do this. They tell you that you should put steel wool into vinegar, and that's how you get it. Now, you can do it that way, but I feel like the way I do it is better than any way anyone else has shown you how to do it. Not to toot my own horn too much, but anyway, I was thinking that I'd just quickly show you how I do it so that you can do it the way I do it. And it will save you a lot of times, because the way other people show you how to do it can take actually several days. The way I do it will take maybe an hour or two. I'm talking about the actual process of things dissolving, basically, because obviously this process of doing it only takes a couple of minutes. So let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is collect some rust. I suggest you find a place where there is some rust, and you take a wire brush of some sort. It could be a hand one like I'm doing, or it could be on a drill, something just to remove the rust from something that is already rusty, because usually it's not that hard to find something that has a bunch of rust on it, and you can just take that rust. It's much smarter and quicker way to do it than to put vinegar and steel wool together and wait for the steel wool to start rusting, because you could just take something that is already rusty, and it will cut down the time and make it into something that doesn't have to sit around for days, into something that has to sit around for hours. Give or take. I'm using a piece of paper here, as you can see, and I'm just putting the rust flakes and dust on it. As you can see, it makes the paper a little bit dirty, so you know how much you have. And you don't need to collect much at all. The more you collect, the better, but you don't have to go crazy. As you can see, I don't have that much at all. And then we just take a bowl and we put in some vinegar. I have about maybe a deciliter of vinegar in this bowl here. And I also have a little bit of apple cider vinegar just to change up the color a little bit. It's one of those experiment things you can do if you wanna. And then I'm just throwing in the dust particles, and I'm just gonna let this sit for 2 hours or something like that. I don't really know how long, and let it do its thing. I'm gonna stir it around a little bit every now and then, just to make sure that everything is getting good. It will make it go a little bit quicker, but I'm not in a rush. And hopefully you're not either. And this is how you make it. And then you can just put it on to whatever surface you need to grayish up, like the back of a guitar neck, for example. And the thing that's good about the way I do it is that it goes really quick. And so hopefully this will help you out. And I'm actually gonna have to put it into a bigger container than this, because I had this as always a starter, but it can easily run out. A thing that is really good about this is that you can actually just keep it in a bottle like this. It will last forever. And when you're starting to run out like this, you can either make more and put in, or you could just add vinegar. But eventually that will dilute it too much. So I try to do that until I have very little, and then I just make more. But that usually is a couple of years in between. Hopefully this helps. Let me know in the comments below if this was useful for you and what you're gonna use it on, especially if it's something different than just the back of a guitar neck, because that's interesting. You can do a load of fun thing with this. I showed you using vinegar, but you could use apple cider vinegar, or you could use red wine vinegar or white wine vinegar. I can't speak. And you can get other types of variants of the grayish effect. It will still be gray, but you can get like 50 shades of gray or something. That's a bad joke, but you know what I mean. Anyway, don't forget to stay awesome and cool, and go and do something fun with vinegar.